Morning everyone. Let's begin chapter 5 of eco applications, that is factors of production. We have already done two factors of production, that is land and labor. Today I'll be starting with capital as a factor of production. So I hope you all have opened your book to page number 122. Let's begin. As you can see, capital in a modern economy, capital is a very crucial factor of production. So to initiate any production process or to initiate any business, we need capital, without which we cannot step ahead. Production process in such an economy is characterized by increased use of capital. Use of capital has resulted in a large increase in production and productivity. So with the help of capital as a factor of production, the level of production and the level of productivity has increased compared to the previous times. Let's move on to the meaning of capital. One of the most important concepts in economics is the concept of capital. In economics, capital has been traditionally defined in the sense of physical capital. In this sense, capital is defined as a stock of those reproducible or man-made durable goods that are used as input to produce other goods and service in the future rather than being consumed for their own sake. I would like to give an example. As you can see in your book also, the next paragraph, capital is defined here in the sense of capital goods. These capital goods consist of tools and instruments, plants and equipments, machines and trucks, factories and buildings, and stock of goods with the producers which are used in the production of other goods and services rather than being consumed for their own sake. Some capital goods might last for few years, while others might last for decades. But essential property of these capital goods is that they are produced or man-made goods which are used as input to produce goods and services. So what you have understood from here, that capital is a produced means of production. For example, when we purchase machinery, with the help of that machinery, goods and services or goods are being produced, which are later sold in the market, and the revenue is thus generated from its sale. And this is happening year after year, days after days. This is a continuous process. So we are not purchasing that machine for self-consumption. We are using that machine for further production, which results in the generation of revenue after the sale. So here capital acts as an input for the generation of revenue by the sale of produced goods in the market. Next, I move on to the types of capital goods. The category of capital goods is non-residential structures such as factories, office buildings, power plants, shopping centers, warehouses, docks, etc. That means they are used for commercial purposes. Production activities are carried on in these structures. Hence, they are termed as non-residential structures. Third category is inventories. Inventories of inputs and outputs that firms have in stock. It includes goods in the warehouses, goods in store shelves, on showroom floors, semi-finished goods and raw materials with producers. These inventories of inputs are inventories of auto parts to produce cars. Inventories of finished products in the factories, stores and showrooms are essential to conveniently meet the demand of the buyer. So here inventory means stock. Either it is in the godown, either it is on the showroom floor in the form of semi-finished or raw material with the producers, goods on store shelves, etc., etc. Fourth category of capital goods is residential structures. Residential structures such as residential houses, apartments are also a form of physical capital. Residential houses and apartments are produced in the economy and they provide valuable services in the form of living space. That means suppose you have an apartment or a flat and you give that in rent. Okay, you give that to someone for living space, as a living space that people can enjoy year after year, and they are paying rent against that. These residential houses are used as input to produce housing services which may be rented or used for owners living. Either you stay on your own or you rent out for a purpose of earning money. Capital is further classified into fixed capital and working capital. Fixed capital includes those capital goods which increase the produce or productive potential of the economy in future. It comprises of machinery, equipments, new technology, factory buildings, computers, etc. That means once we invest in fixed capital, it gives a benefit year after year for a specified lifetime or lifespan. They have an estimated life for some years. Whereas working capital includes the stock of finished and semi-finished goods that will be used in the near future or will be converted into finished consumer goods in the near future. These are inventories with the producers. It is important to note that some physical capital or tangible capital is owned by the government in the form of social capital. Now, social capital is also known as infrastructure in the form of highways, roads, bridges, public transport system, sewer and water systems, police stations, fire stations, courts, etc. They are used by the government as inputs to produce the services that it provides to the business, firm and households. They are therefore the part of capital as defined above, but they comes under social capital because it is used by the entire society. So I hope till here it is clear. Next we'll proceed with the chapter in the next class. Thank you for today.